Hey everybody, Kim Silvio with the weekly roundup, the week that was in the EXJW YouTube community. This week I am hoping to just mix it up a little bit. I've got a couple of videos that I found that I thought were really good that I wanted to share. I also have a little bit of news and I wanted to go old school. Around 14 videos this month. Obviously the first one is a funny video. It is by Marty. I'm going to have to cheat. Marty Seeks the Truth. An Australian guy put out a few days ago. It's not that long a video. It's a couple of minutes. I think it's nearly 3 minutes. It's a funny satire video. It is about Lloyd, obviously, and why Skippy unsubscribed from Lloyd. So, shunned to death. This is actually a really interesting interview, and I've checked out this channel. The channel is called, I'm having a Talk Beliefs. And so it's talking about this Matthew Maldron, who grew up as a Jehovah's Witness and was an elder and a Bethelite, etc., etc. He seems to do a lot of different interviews. So I could highly recommend that one as well. It was a good interview. Obviously, I've heard quite a lot of stories. So it's sort of, along the same lines as other stories and experiences that I've had. But obviously, the more important reality is that the more stories that get out there, the better. So check it out. It's an interesting interview and it's really well done. So I highly recommend that channel. It's Talk Beliefs. Surviving Paradise. Really, actually interesting video. I enjoyed it. It's about the faithful and discreet slave, and it brings out some really interesting points about why it's rubbish. I could only encourage people to watch it if you are looking for information about the faithful and discreet slave. EXJW Caleb. It's actually also about the governing body, the faithful and discreet slave. Must be a bit of a theme this week. It's animated, which I'm jealous about because I really, really am trying hard to fine tune my animation skills. I found it fascinating from a creation point of view, but it's a really good video and certainly really well done. XJW Curious is the website, is the YouTube channel. I think I have highlighted them before, but the reason that I particularly wanted to highlight this video, which is sort of a bit of a newsy item, is they're talking about the New Zealand Royal Commission, I think it's called, looking into it. It's been going on for some time and there's been submissions, but there's some news updates. Obviously, I thought that there might be people that are interested. I think it's really important that as many people around the world know about what's going on in other countries so that they can network together to talk about things that they're doing really well, that are getting good results, and then also things that they've, setbacks that they have. And obviously there are a lot of setbacks along the way when you're doing activism work, and to be able to create a little bit of a support network. So by all means, anybody that's interested in looking into, lobbying their governments, obviously everybody knows about the Australian Royal Commission, but there is actually a New Zealand Commission into child sexual abuse, of which Jehovah's Witnesses are participating, and I can only encourage you, if you're interested, to check out the video from XJW Curious. I've forgotten his name. I think it's Pete, but don't quote me. From A to Z. And it's a phone call that this particular lady makes to a Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses and discusses scripture in Hebrews. And to be honest, I'm having an absolute shock this week with my memory. I forget what the scripture is about, but it's actually really interesting, and they get down to a really decent discussion. And if anyone's interested in unwitnessing, I think this is a really good example of something that can be done. It's done in a very respectful manner. I thought it was great. So anyway, that's another option for this week from Bridget from AZ. Okay, so this is a couple who have obviously left. I didn't pick up in the video how long they've been out for. They make some very interesting points, one of which is something that I've heard, unfortunately, way too many times, about their realization that child sexual abuse is rampant around the world. It's not just about one congregation or two congregations or any of that other rubbish. It is, it's, an epidemic, and it's disgraceful. So, I mean, that's just one tiny little part of what the video was about. They also talk about making new memories, and they started off by, I think it must be their daughter, going and having ice cream on a Saturday morning, which I thought was really positive. The name of the channel is Inairby, Inairby. I thought it was great, and I certainly have subscribed and will be watching more of their videos in the future. I hope they do more because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really positive. This is a young girl, obviously from the United States. She talks about depression, EXJW depression, and how to have self-care. She is young. She's very modern with how she speaks, but she's cool. And I think that what she says about self-care as an EXJW with depression is bang on for a young person. I think she's absolutely amazing. And so she's talking about, like obviously going to therapy with a mental health professional, and she gives a whole heap of other explanations and little bits and pieces from her video there. But yeah, highly recommend it. It really is amazing. I've been so encouraged this week just by seeing how many new YouTubers that I'm finding and how much focus there is actually about okay, you're an EXJW, now what? I think I talked about it last video a little bit, but seeing the young ones and other people getting out there and putting their stories on on the YouTube and giving their opinion, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I really, 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 really was excited. I think her Kingjay, Kingjay. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Okay. This bloke is on my litigation list. Judd of Armies. Don't know who this gentleman is, but we've sort of been throwing around a little bit of shade at each other in the last day or so. Because apparently he likes to talk smack about Kendra Silver. Apparently he made some story up that Kendra Silver was going to send a hitman out on Floyd Nevins or some bloke, I don't know his name, but at any rate, that's rubbish. All in good fun. It is Judd of Armies, has got quite a few videos out. I am under the illusion perhaps that Judd of Armies is going to do some serious videos shortly, but I do have to admire his satire. It is quite funny. It's most of the time. Don't tell him I said that. Okay, the next one that I found was, okay. All right, okay, I'm going to get hammered for this. So I'm going to do it anyway because I don't care. So Sean Atwood is a convicted drug trafficker. There are people in the EXJW community who do not like him, and that is fine. I don't care that you don't like him. I enjoy his content. I enjoy his content, not the person. I don't know Sean Atwood from Jerry. Please don't leave a message saying, you shouldn't follow Sean Atwood. You're so dumb. Sean Atwood has a huge platform, 688,000 subscribers. And he covers EXJW content. I know that Jordan Robertson, who is called The Shunned Experience, has been on his channel, and other things. So when somebody who doesn't have a exclusive EXJW community or a majority EXJW community platform, we have to celebrate it. There are some limitations, but generally speaking, I don't care who is exposing or giving anybody from the EXJW community platform. I am going to say it's great, unless there are some exceptions, but this is not one of them. And this is an interview that is done on the Sean Atwood channel this week, and it's Jehovah's Witnesses Apostates, a tragic family story, Jason Think Penny, and it's podcast 284. I don't know why Jason Think Penny rings a bell to me. I think it should for a reason. It's escaping me at the moment. But at any rate, I want to celebrate the good news that we've got a person from the EXJW community sharing their story on the Sean Atwood channel this week, and I can only encourage it 100%. So this is Dax the Scholar, Taylor. I can't think of Taylor's other name, but at any rate. So this is Dax the Scholar, and that is the name of their channel. The subject of the video is something to do with Lloyd put a slap on me, which is in America it's a legal term for us. Well, I can't think what slap even stands for. My mind is gone this week. Sorry. So Dax the Scholar has put a video out this week. It's something to do with Lloyd Evans and a slap motion that she wanted to have taken out on her. She's a very passionate person. I think she's just been out of the organisation this year, so very recently at any rate, and she's doing some really great work. The video, it was done as a live stream, and I've managed to watch the whole thing. It is very long, 2.5 hours. I think JW Thoughts Wally makes an appearance, and also Taylor, as you can see in the picture there. This video is not about what the title says it's about. This video for me was hugely relieving. One of my biggest fears in the EXJW community is that I would say something that would offend somebody, particularly coming from the generation where, yes, I was born in the very late 70s, and if you watch the video, you'll understand why I'm referencing the later 80s. And you know, it's something that it makes me scared. You know, that we grew up in a culture and in a time where I grew up in a culture in a time frame where, you know, words that begin with R and sounds like regarded, as in having regard for someone's feelings. And I do have regard for people's feelings, and the use of that word is absolutely inappropriate and wrong. In my day, back in my day, oh God, my mother's coming out my mouth. It's horrific. When I was growing up, and certainly in the culture that I live in, using those words was not a problem. It was just wasn't offensive. To use the word gay was either a word of expressing how you were feeling, also someone of a homosexual tendency. There's other words that we used to use as well, starting with F, which is absolutely disgraceful word and should never be used. But, you know, there are times where people from my generation, it's just a habit, where we would say things like that, and we misgender people, we use incorrect binary, non-binary language, and it personally just scares the shit out of me, frankly, because I have a daughter that's just due to turn 21 this year, and I try my best to understand and to do the right thing and to really embrace, you know, what modern society deems as acceptable these days. And I do my best, and I believe in doing the right thing. And it's scary sometimes when you are speaking publicly, or you are speaking in a forum where, you know, you can't take back what you say, and you know, and hearing these young people say that it's okay to make a mistake and to learn from it and to continue to grow was really encouraging to me. So this video has got nothing to do with Lloyd, well, not in my opinion, it doesn't. It's got very, very minor amount to do with Lloyd, but particularly the last hour and a half of this video is amazing. I learned so much, and I really, anybody that's got the same views as me in regards to binary, non-binary, misgendering, using inappropriate words for this time and the culture that we all now live in, can only highly recommend this video, and I'm really looking forward to seeing further videos from Dax the Scholar. Moving on, because I really talked too long about that. Okay, this is a video by Watching the World. So I've highlighted Watching the World's channel previously. This week I wanted to particularly highlight this video because there's breaking news. For those of you who aren't aware, and some of you certainly would be aware, there is a proposed development at the Ramapo facility, so they are in the process of getting a development approval. There've been local government planning meetings going on. Watching the World actually got the opportunity to go to the local town hall meeting and gave their brief opinion about the Jehovah's Witness and facts that we know to be true about the Jehovah's Witness organisation and other people. There's links, etc., etc. And if you can't find the information and are interested, please contact me through Twitter, and I will link you up with the Ramapo town planning. It's we call it local government, so council. I'm not 100% sure on the terminology, but I know where the website is if you can't find it and you're interested. There's been a local town meeting where they got to provide all their objections. Really interesting. Highly recommend it if you again interested in exploring physical or real life, as some people call it, real life activism. Looking at things like this is a very, very good way to get started and to start to understand how, what you can do to contribute to real life activism. Okay, so they're my 14 videos for this week. I do want to, I've heard bits and people asking me questions about things that happened years ago, etc., etc. And sometimes I find it fascinating. I find, what are you talking about? So this week I thought, rather than, go through excessive amounts of videos of people who are doing things now and covering, content creators that we've already talked about on the channel, if you're interested, go back and have a look at my previous videos. I thought that I'd highlight these 14 this week, but I also wanted to point out a few other ones that people might find interesting. There was a little bit of discussion about JW Fairytale, had come and gone from the EXJW community before I had woken up, left in 2018. JW Fairytale is one of my personal fangirl people that I'm on the fangirl list. Yes, he does come across sometimes as quite bizarre. He does wear face makeup, has had criticism. He can be very, very vocal and has a very loud opinion, but he's very, very interesting. And what he says is actually, what I like about him is that he'll just tell it how it is. And I really, really like that. So JW Fairytale is one of the old school activists, and I thought that I'd bring it out so you could see. Check out some of his old videos. They are hilarious. She's a young girl. She's cool. She does heaps and heaps of different videos, content, all different types of content. So check out Spoon Fed No More. I'm just wondering, has she still got her EXJW stuff up? Yes, she does. So you might need to go back through. I think there's some like more recent stuff that's not EXJW, which is probably also great. But yeah, she's awesome. So if you're interested in looking for additional channels, Spoonfed No More is awesome. A lot of you would know about The Truth Hurts. I can't think of his name at the moment. Dear me, that's shocking. That he has been taking a hiatus from doing videos, and he doesn't do 100% EXJW content, but he does a lot of really, really interesting content and has a very, very nice English voice for anybody that's interested. Check out Truth Hurts. That's awesome. He's probably going to kill me for doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I tried to goad the Great Apostate into doing a video because he hasn't done one for like 100 years, basically. Okay, exaggerated that a little bit. But this guy is awesome, does most of his videos driving in his car. But he's funny, he's Scottish, he's got a mad accent, and he's just, again, another person who tells it how it is. He has a different opinion, different viewpoint on many, many things. I don't always agree with him, but I very much respect his opinion. And obviously he was part of or is, I don't know, the current status, but, he was part of the VAA. They did some protesting, which was really interesting. And he's got a mad story. So if you're looking for additional content, again, he definitely has a different point of view, but I really respect it. I think it's worth checking out. While I'm remembering, don't forget to continue to check out Jexit 2020. He is one of my favorites, and he doesn't put a video out every week, but he definitely puts videos out, and I find them interesting also. The last from the old school that I wanted to, not that this is particularly old school, is the fig leaf. So Jill is the lady's name. I won't tell you her story, but it's extremely interesting. If you haven't seen her videos, you can see here on the screen. some of the content, what it's about, I would highly recommend you watch the introduction first, so that you can understand where Jill's coming from. But some really interesting content and very relevant to what's happening in the EXJW community at the moment. Certainly will give you a different perspective. Highly recommended. Okay, so we're going to get to the news of the hour. Kevin McFree. Let's talk about it. Everybody loves Kevin McFree, especially me. Okay, so this week it was reported on the Twitter that the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania versus John Doe, aka Kevin McFree, is free. Mr. McFree has been freed with prejudice, which means that the case cannot be brought against him again. Fabulous news for Mr. McFree. He's truly free at this point, and I'm so happy for him. I think his attorneys did an amazing job in snookering Watchtower, forcing them into the situation where they didn't have any choice but to stipulate and agree to discontinue proceedings. Love it. Love McFree's content. And so this was the other person on my this week. This was the other from the archives that I wanted to bring up this week. Kevin McFree, who is now free, and we are also pleased for him to be free, and hopefully, although I don't expect it, and who would ever ask him to? Me, because I'm unreasonable. Please, Kevin, if you're watching this, please do another video, another episode, another season or 5. Okay, don't. It's not reasonable, but I really love Kevin McFree. I think that everybody needs to have a great laugh, enjoy some satire. We have some parody going on in the EXJW community, which I think is fantastic. This is the OG, and if you have not seen Kevin McFree, I hate you. I'm jealous, because you get to watch McFree brand new from the beginning. So Dubtown Season 1, Episode 1, I'm just going to play a little bit.
Dubtown, a great place to live, full of wonderful, happy people. Oh look, there's brother and sister Oldtimer. Hello, Oldtimers. They are incredible examples of faith in the face of absurdity. They've seen so much new light, they probably have to wear sunglasses all the time. Come with me on a journey into the spiritual paradise in Dubtown. There's so many characters for us to visit. See how the children play in their sanctioned recreational time. And oh look, 2 of our loving shepherds engaged in the important cart ministry. Let's have a closer look at what's going on over there, right in the heart of Dubtown.
Okay, I just encouraged myself to to go and watch that again, because I love it. I absolutely think Dubtown is the bomb diggity, and I think every person should go rewatch it and have oh geez, Kim, have a go, and have a good laugh. It's the best. I think Kevin McFree is a magician. So I also wanted to do a quick update, because so many people have asked me. I'm just going to leave McFree on there because it makes me happy. People have asked me about the situation with the Magnificent Seven. I don't know who the Magnificent Seven is. I would only assume that I am one of the Magnificent Seven. However, I have no informal or formal knowledge in any way, shape, or form about what has happened or is going to happen. I don't understand at all how anything could happen, but we shall see. If I receive any documentation, or if any of the other 6, presuming that I am one of the 7, then I certainly will let you know. Okay, the next bit of news that I wanted to go on to is, I wonder how this is going to go. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so this lady is not an EXJW. Another one, this is why I wanted to bring it up. This person is not an EXJW. Someone suggested to her to look at the content of the the Jehovah's Witness video material, and she goes through and she does a video about something one of the young people asked videos. It's really, really interesting. But I can only highly recommend, because you get again to see it from outside of the fish pond. YouTuber who has quite a real, like a huge platform. I just can't remember how many. 77,000 subscribers, which to me is huge. She does get, quite a lot of, views on her channel. This particular video, this Jehovah's Witness video, has had 34,000 views already, and it's only a day old. In the video, she's calling out for ex-JWs who were Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, or people who know ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, because she obviously wants to explore the story further. I can only encourage you to please reach out to her, tell her your story, do whatever you can do, provide her with resources, connect her up with the community. She provides her details on the video. So one last thing that I did want to point out is, for those of you who haven't heard me bang on enough about it, the avoidjw.org website is back up and running, better than ever. So pleased, because every time I go to look for something, it's my go-to place, other than JW Facts for explanations. But this website is fantastic. You don't understand how cool it is. It's got a library. I'll just quickly stalk through it. Publications, Elders Manual. It is so well documented, it's a joke. But I did want to highlight particularly this week, Looking Glass by Larchwood. You may have seen Larchwood on Twitter, providing their little bits and pieces in respect of old doctrine material. Larchwood is an absolute resource. I remember like an elephant, unlike me. They seem to know where everything is, and it's fantastic. And that's me for this week. Hope you all have a great week, and I hope that the people in the Northern Hemisphere are enjoying a warmer period of time now coming into their summer, and for all of the rest of the world, enjoy your pretend winter, as the Northerners would call it. Hopefully you'll see me again, and take care, all of you. Enjoy.